got ourselves a little package for today's video. Now, some of you down in that camera lens may have already noticed that I don't particularly consider myself to be a golf gear head. While I do look at some of the equipment that comes out, I've had pretty much the same clubs in my bag for the last 3 going on 4 years. If you've already seen my What's in the Bag video, if not, I'll put a link in the description above. I have had the Cobra F7 3-wood in my bag since I've pretty much started golfing. And as you can tell from the wear marks, this has been a club that I've relied upon many, many, many times. My driver has gotten up to 280 yards of average carry out on the course, and my 3-wood, which used to be around the 240-ish range, I was hoping and expecting that it would also, kind of get closer to that gap and maybe start filling in that 260 space. Now, knowing that I have such a big gap between my driver and my 3-wood, I actually purchased another club to test out in the bag to see if it made a lot of sense for me to have it. And that is, dun-dun-dun-dun, I got the exact same F7 5/6 fairway wood from Cobra, but I'm running into a little bit of a problem. So my 5-wood is set at 17 degrees of loft, and when I tested it on the mevo flightscope, it was carrying roughly 235 yards on average. And when I tested my 3-wood, again, off the deck, I was averaging 243 yards of carry, with the top end of my 3-wood being 250. So I figured, cool. What I didn't anticipate is that in real world scenarios, these clubs on the course are going the exact same yardage. Arcos has my 3-wood at 250 and my 5-wood at 248. So this got me thinking, why am I swinging my 5-wood faster than my 3-wood? That brought me to this guy right here. So I went on to Global Golf and I ordered a new shaft for my 3-wood, because the only difference that I noticed between my 3-wood and my 5-wood is that there's a regular flex shaft in my 3-wood and there's a stiff flex shaft in my 5-wood. Now, I have absolutely no idea if that's the difference, but today we're gonna test that out. Full disclosure, I have absolutely no understanding of shafts and I don't do a lot of research into them, but this one says S, the other one says R, so we're gonna see if shaft flex can have an impact on why my 3-wood is not going as long as it should. I am super excited and definitely looking forward to it. Let's do it right now. Hold on, I can't get to the camera. Right meow.
No, I know what I'm talking about. That's what I'm saying. Sometimes it's like a blackout. And it's hot. I know exactly what I'm saying. At the time. I don't remember what I said.
You don't remember
after
what
I
you
said
said.
I left my mevo at home, so all I was able to use was the PRGR Black. It's not as if I just made an entire video talking about how great the mevo is and how small it is. You can always keep it in your bag, and then I don't keep it in the bag. Okay, so 2 shafts in here, and then of course Kurt messed with my launch settings and he was changing around my heights. Classic Kurt. Look at him. Switched everything out on me. So now I've got high launch or higher spin and lower spin, which is definitely easy to change. Because we don't need that spinning any higher than it already does. Because I am a high spin 3-wood player, and that thing will go 150 feet in the air. There we go. All right, so let's take a look at some of the results that we were getting. And since the PRGR is the best with ball speed, I'm going to go off of that. The carry number is a calculation, so I'm just going to focus on the ball speed. Now, with the regular shaft in there, I was averaging 156 miles an hour of ball speed with the regular flex shaft. And we had one at 156, 154. I had a one at 158, which is a little bit higher, but for the most part, the ball speed numbers were pretty much the same. Now, one thing that I did notice when I went to the stiffer shaft, and this could have been just a result of strike because I wasn't striking it that well, I was not able to get as high of ball speed. It was 152 average, 152, 154, 152. But I guess I will relate that more to strike because throughout the testing, the swing speed with the 3-wood was 108 miles an hour, 108 miles an hour. It was pretty consistently at 108 miles an hour. And that kind of makes sense because both of these shafts are the same weight. They just have a different flex profile. And I don't really know what that means if I'm being 100% honest with you. So I think I'm going to leave the stiffer shaft in there for a couple of reasons. One, purely because of ego. It's definitely not because of ego. I do not care what my shafts say. My shaft is stiffer than your shaft. Question time. I'd love to hear from some of you down that lens. What shaft flexes do you play? Where you fit it for them? And how did you get to that decision of this is the shaft and this is the flex that I'm going to play? Were you fit? Did you just go off of, swing speed and this is what you think you should be playing? I'd love to hear from some of you down that lens. Let me know in the comment sections below. I am going to leave the stiff flex in there because I was noticing a couple of things that I was feeling just right before impact. And this again is my feels. I don't even know if this is universal or if this is even something that I was logically noticing, but I had grabbed both shafts and didn't know which was which, and I realized the stiff shaft had a different feel to it. So at impact, to me it felt like the face, and I could feel the bottom of the club at the bottom of my swing. I could just feel like it was just a bit more stable. Man, it's so hard to define that. This is what, man, reviewing clubs must be so difficult because it's so hard to translate a feeling of just the way my hands interpret the strike and try to explain that. To me, it felt like I had more awareness of the club face at impact. And as a result of that, I was seeing a slightly less curvier ball flight. I was losing quite a few of them off to the right, which I typically do when I leave the face open. And I feel like with the stiffer shaft, I was just able to keep that face a little bit more square to the target, and I was able to start that ball on the line I wanted to. But if we're going to get back to the conversation of why we started this test, which is my 3-wood is going just the same distance as my 5-wood, that simply came down to I'm just not swinging my 3-wood as fast as I should. My average driver swing speed right now is around 117 miles an hour, and I know for a fact that I can get this 3-wood up into the 108, 109 miles an hour swing speed, 110 miles an hour. I just got to step on the gas. So the reason why I was swinging the 5-wood faster is probably just because it's a little bit shorter of a shaft. There's just a little bit more face down at the ball. There's a little bit more face down there, and it kind of feels more like a hybrid to me. So typically, I think I just was a little bit more comfortable swinging this full out than maybe necessarily swinging my 3-wood full out. So if I were to relate that to you down the lens, this kind of comes back to club fitting. Do I think these two shafts have a different physical characteristic? I don't know. Like, I'm sure they are. Like, I don't think Fujikura makes, I'm sure there's some different physical component in this regular shaft versus the stiff shaft that makes this different than this. I'm sure there is. But ultimately, what the biggest difference and the biggest factor was me. I feel more comfortable and a little bit more stable swinging the stiffer shaft through the impact area, and that allows me to reach my top speed with my 3-wood a lot more consistently. Whereas if I have a feeling that I'm just a little bit less controlled through the impact area with the regular flex shaft, that's naturally going to cause me to step off of it a little bit, because you really don't want to be swinging a club full out if you don't have any idea where that ball is going to go. I couldn't explain that to you and still don't understand how that works. I'm sure an expert fitter will be able to explain why that is. Ultimately, it doesn't really matter to me. All I know is I like the way this feels more through the impact area. The ball does what I need it to do, and my 3-wood definitely carries in that 260-yard range. I just need to make sure I step on it and have the confidence that the ball is going to go where I want it to go. Definitely going to be leaving the 3-wood stiff shaft in the 3-wood for the tournament tomorrow, and just hitting those few balls gives me the utmost confidence that, hey, I can step on it, the ball's going to go exactly where I need it to go, and if I need to hit that 260 number into a par 5, this is definitely my club to go to. All right, everybody, that's really all I got for you. As always, thank you very much for watching my YouTube channel. Deuces, people. Let's keep it moving.